the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
This show's never going to start.
This show is a disaster.
This show's never going to start.
And it's a joke, and it always has been, and I'm sorry.
There's a couple of things. Okay. The first is that...
What's your first note?
I heard the song, and therefore, in my head, the show started 5 minutes ago.
All right.
Second is I already said the introduction part.
I know.
I said, hello, this is your co-host Noel. I'm here with
You need
Jacob.
no introduction, though.
I'm here with Jacob Givens. That's what I said. And then before that even started, any of that, you said, everybody stop talking because this is solid gold.
I did.
So we're going to start now. And then Veronica and I were just killing it.
Oh, the banter was...
We were snapping.
That's what you call wicked banter.
Wicked banter. Wicked banter. Good intro. I heard the song.
I know.
And you didn't press record.
Here's what happened. Can I tell you what happened?
Yeah, please,
please. Now you guys listen to the show, you hear the song before the show begins, but we don't normally hear the song before the show begins. It doesn't happen.
No, but I did.
Right. And this is what happened. So I had, in my haste, because we're trucking along at a high speed this morning.
High speed.
We're trying to get things done.
Yes.
And I had opened up last episode, and see, the thing is the song is always there.
Yeah.
It's in the program.
In my heart. It's in the world. It's in people's minds.
It's
and
everywhere.
Thoughts. It's what keeps people going.
But what I do is I mute it when we record, and then when it's time to put the whole show together, I unmute it and make sure it comes at the right time and all stuff. So I hit record, and then here comes our song. And then not only that, the previous voices were still there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, this is going to be a complete nightmare. And so it was my fault. I apologize for losing the wicked banter.
Uh-huh.
I apologize for playing the song and then telling you that we weren't recording.
Correct.
I apologize for just everything.
You did all of those things. And your apology is accepted. Yeah. It's okay.
Thank you.
It's okay, Jacob.
Thank you.
Right?
Forgiven.
We're
Forgiven.
forgiving him.
Forgive and forget, or hold on to it still.
No, we're holding on to it.
Oh, of course, good.
All right.
Well,
I do want to finish that thought though. So this was a song from she's writing to her of the past, or is her of the past writing
Adele.
to her of the future?
Her in the past her now writing it to her past.
Yeah, so that when
So
it would,
her older self writing it to her younger self. And this is the song.
Do you know what the biggest tragedy of the song is?
What's that?
Is that when she was younger self and wanted to listen to it, the song didn't exist yet.
Right.
She would have had to have gone into a time machine.
this is so true. When you write songs for your past self, it's a bummer.
It's a worthless gesture.
Yeah, it's like, well, then what's the point? You never get to hear it. You got to travel through time.
Because the fact of the matter is when Adele wrote the song, she already knew because she wrote the song. So she couldn't hear it fresh with her ears from back then.
Yeah.
The song didn't exist yet.
Yeah. So the moral of this is don't write time travel songs.
Don't write time travel songs. I mean, I think
that simple, folks.
I think messing with time in general is a mistake.
You're right. We learned that from Back to the Future.
We did.
Don't mess with time.
Don't mess with time. Although in an earlier episode of the show, remember we found out that the Australians cracked that mathematical formula?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, so they were saying that no matter what you do, if you mess with the time flow, that things will...
It'll work itself out.
Mathematically end up going back to where they were supposed to go in the first place.
It'll just land where it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just tells you that there is no such thing as free will.
That's true. And this is all pointless. And throw in the towel.
So give up. Thanks for listening to the Biofriendly Podcast.
We've had a great 3.5 years.
We've had a great run.
It's been a good run. Episode 172 is where we call it quits.
It's
folks.
over. It's over because there's no point.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Adele, for your
Thank you, Adele, for ruining
everything.
I'm off my game a little bit.
Why?
Because my pants are cutting off my
circulation to your brain. Can you tell us the story of what your wife did to you today?
Okay, so I've been, I kind of wear jeans a lot. That's kind of like my go-to. So I've been trying to style it up.
Jeans look good on you.
I like it. It's a classic look.
Yeah, have a
classic.
nice bum.
Thank
Now,
you, sir.
And I'm sorry. This is. I apologize to everybody. This is not has no reflection on your job performance.
No.
Whether or not you have a nice bum will not affect your ability to get a promotion.
This is true.
Or raises or anything else.
And I know that.
It just happens to be a fact.
Yeah, and this is an environmental podcast, and my bum affects the environment. So you're just stating the facts.
Big times. Big times.
Animals, plants are just like, what? So
The carbon footprint is affected.
the carbon footprint of my bum.
Your carbon butt print.
Yes, it's a strong one. So Noel has been rocking some sweet threads recently. He's got colorful shirts and pants. You've seen him on the show. If you watch the show, he's got colors. Man.
I've been working a little bit on my game because I was not historically a person who would doll himself up.
Right, but you have added flourishes of color.
I love that you said flourishes.
Flourishes.
That's nice. Right?
Yes.
Isn't that great?
Like
That's
it's eye catching. And so I was
you.
saying to Jamie, I was like, Noel's got these cool pants and stuff like that. So she's like, I'll look for some cool pants. And so she brought me a pair that were these kind of, deep green, like a really deep, whatever you call it. And I like those. Those are perfect. Easy to put on.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I got a pair of olive green pants.
Olive green.
We should
olive green it
wear
up
them together.
Yes, I'd love
Walk down the street.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
to stay
be the
alive.
olive green boys.
You can tell by the way I love.
By the way, I wear these pants. I'm an olive guy, and I like to dance.
So she got me another pair, and she says she got the exact same size. But I think that whoever made these pants, there's a note that she must have missed, like extra slim or something like that. Like it's the same length, it's the same width of the belt and the waist. But I think that the cut of these is for a toothpick.
I would argue, and again, this will have no reflection on future raises, employment, or upping. This is just stating facts.
Okay.
I think she might have bought extra sexy.
She brought extra sexy. Is that what you did, honey?
I think she bought extra
She
sexy.
went up to the counter and she said, I'm looking for some extra sexy threads for my
Jacob
husband."
painted these pants on today.
Yeah, they look like it.
Yeah,
they look like
he's
it.
He's like that Sports Illustrated issue where they paint the flags on the models.
Totally.
Yeah.
This is our summer issue. This is where I really, really show.
Yeah, he's not wearing any pants at all. It is paint. It's body paint.
Yeah, it's body paint.
It's body paint.
Body paint. That's what it feels like. And so I showed it this morning, and I said, is it too tight? And they said, you're fine. You're great. We love you.
We do love him.
But right around the legs, right around the calves there, it looks like you've got tights on. It looks skinny.
It looks skinny. It looks skinny, but I will say, and Veronica will back me up on this. We felt again.
Okay.
This is not affecting your future. We took our Easy Llama sexual harassment classes, and so I just don't want Jacob to think that I'm hitting on him.
I love it so much. He's like, again. Third time, I'm going to tell you right now. No effect in your job performance.
But I will say that Veronica and I were looking at Jacob, we're like, this guy's a snack.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. Yeah, because
Lunchable.
it was painted on. It was
lunchable.
painted on, but he's got
I got it going on.
You got some bubbles.
We got some bubbles.
Yeah.
Please let that land in the compliment lexicon. I want to say that guy's got some bubbles.
Yeah. Jacob's got some bubbles. And so I was like, well, I mean, look. Yes. Are they tight? Yes. Do they look like tights? Yes. But I think you're pulling it off.
Yeah. It's going to be one hell of a lunch walk today. There's going to be people turning heads. It's going to be good. So that's why maybe the blood flowed to my brain, and when I was hitting record and everything was going off, I was like, I don't think I can think very clearly today. There's no blood.
My recommendation, if your wife is listening to the show, and we know she doesn't,
she's not listening. No, I'm just kidding. She listens to every word.
Every word.
Every word.
My recommendation is that I think on the top half, we're going in a good direction.
Okay.
I think if she's trying to make you eye candy, if she's trying to say my husband's a snack, take a look.
She did it up here.
I think keep the top half cut.
Yeah.
Because it's good. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Looks really good. I think that the bottom half does look a little bit like it's strangling you.
Yeah, it is strangling.
Yeah.
Me.
I would say knees down. You need a looser cut.
Knees down.
But thighs up, baby. Let it rip.
That guy's got bubbles.
That guy's got bubbles.
That's my favorite. Let's add it to the tags.
Okay, that guy's got bubbles.
That guy's got That guy's got
Someone's got to jot it. We'll forget that. You gotta
jot it down, Veronica.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've done a lot of shenanigans to kick things off, and while Veronica goes and writes down that guy's got bubbles.
Guy's got bubbles.
We're gonna get into the
And the rest of the tags because we're recording this show after I've been gone for 2 weeks.
It's been another. We've had another break because
I won't remember the tags.
It is Jacob's brain is rebuilding itself.
It is okay.
And then the other one was don't be environmentally gimmicky.
Oh right.
And then you added one more, and it will get there. Todd Water Socks. Yes. Featuring
Todd Water Socks.
That's the other one.
Right, and then you're going to be talking about.
And I'll do that guy's got bubbles.
What I love about our show is that we do what we should be doing in the pre-show warm-up during the actual show.
Yeah, but that's something you come to expect. So the new phrase is that guy's got bubbles.
That guy's got bubbles.
That guy's got bubbles.
He really does.
I mean, we could make it genderless. We could say that dude's got bubbles.
That being.
That human. That they got bubbles.
They got bubbles.
Should we do they got bubbles?
I think it's that guy.
It's that guy. Yeah, because it was specifically linked
it's about
to
you.
It was about
We're
me.
talking about you here.
That guy got.
You're still
That guy
you're he him guy.
You're right. I'm he him.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's me.
that guy's got bubbles.
That guy's got bubbles.
Yeah.
All right. So today we have 2 articles that we were going to do a little while ago, but we focused on Plastic Free July. But this is still about ridding the world of plastic, just in a different way.
All right.
This is about some technology that's being created that's consuming and eating trash in the ocean.
All right. Let's eat the trash.
There's 2 different kinds. Okay, so first up we've got innovative Italian invents. I like innovative Italian invents. It's 3 I's in a row.
That is not cool. That is like
Innovative Italian invents.
it's cruel to your mouth.
It is. Innovative Italian invents river cleaner that grabs trash using water's current.
Okay.
So here we go.
All right.
An Italian firm has invented what seems to be the perfect tool for stopping plastic waste from reaching the ocean via a river.
Okay.
So we're not talking microplastics here. This is big stuff. This is just grabbing the stuff that you can see.
Okay.
So they had to check a lot of boxes. The device had to allow for boats to pass without any challenges there, while being able to run 24/7 with no impact on the riverine environment. I think that means river time environment.
Can you put the picture up real quick?
Yeah, right
here?
there.
Okay.
That's it, right there.
So are they, is that how they're all going to look?
I don't know. Let's see if it says anything about the size. These look like poker chips.
Yeah, but they look like they might be rather large.
They do. They do look like they're very large.
And I feel like that's really, that probably does a great job catching the plastic. Isn't that a little bit
of an eyesore?
I don't know.
Yeah, like you're on the beach and you're like, what are these?
Like you're hanging out in Venice trying to have a romantic,
and you're like,
someone trying to
poker chips out there.
Yeah, someone got the big old pole pushing the gondola down the thingo, and you're trying. He's singing "Oh, Sole Mio," and you're trying to think.
And you're like I came to Italy,
baby.
Hey,
listen to
baby.
this lovely opera as we go through the. What the heck is a poker chip doing in the middle of the canal?
What are these things here?
Right?
That's true. Let's see where they place them. Okay. The result is river cleaning. That's the name of the business, I'm guessing. 100% scalable, low cost, low impact solution this is the name of the firm. From a firm called Mold.
Okay. Mold.
Anchored to the bed at the bottom of the river, river cleaning is a series of buoys.
Like MOULD, like we're molding things?
Yeah, that must be MOLD.
Like
mold.
Like like what grows on bread?
Maybe mold in Italy means something else. A mold.
Mold. It means super sexy.
It means so sexy. It means these pants.
Yes, it's those pants. You're wearing your moldy pants there, buddy.
I'm wearing Italian mold. They are molded to my calves. That's for
but
sure.
MOULD.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like a mouse.
You're right.
MOULD. Moldy pants. Moldy pants.
Oh, my God.
Forever they will make this Jacob dance. It's the second time I did the same rhyme.
You're so good.
Second time in
moldy
one day.
Pants. So this is basically running through mega cities like Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok, and Shanghai.
Yeah.
The rivers funnel waste into global ocean currents that lead trash to clump together in areas of the high seas. So it's kind of, here, I'm going to put up another picture. That's kind of what it looks like.
Underwater.
Yeah, underwater.
Yeah,
That gives you a better view of what you're looking at, how it's gathering things.
It
Entirely self-powered solution with no environmental impact. They're the first product of its kind to achieve Friend of the Sea sustainability
Again, let's
certification.
define no environmental impact. I mean, this
is true.
It's absolute. Yes, it
true.
doesn't have an environmental impact, as in no carbon footprint, or and it's picking up plastic. But it is absolutely
an environmental impact.
It's a bunch of gigantic poker chips that are being held like chains under the water in a river.
And this is another thing, which I like these devices and machines, but I want to see the sea life.
Yeah,
is gonna get jacked in there. You know what I mean? Like, there's just, I don't know how you avoid fish not wanting to be like, hey, look, a new ride. Ah! So it's interesting when you put these things in water. I'm hoping they're choosing waterways that are just, completely away from where the sea life is.
That seems impossible.
That seems impossible, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I guess we'll see it in action, see how it goes, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
you like it, but
I like it. I like it. I
Okay.
like it, but I feel like there's a reason they're putting it in Kuala Lumpur and
they're testing it out
and other places they're not putting it in Venice.
Yeah.
So the Italians are like, yeah, it's great for them.
Yeah. That's interesting. That is really interesting. They're not necessarily testing it in their own turf.
They are. Yeah.
They're testing it elsewhere.
Yeah, that I think is an indicator of whether or not it has an environmental impact, at least to humans.
Yeah. So these things can be fitted to collect different kinds of waste, such as tiny particles, larger items like plastic bottles, and even oil. And efficacy studies have shown river cleaning can collect 85% of all waste passing by them. But
again, cool, very cool. I mean, I think it seems it's cool. It works, obviously.
Yeah.
I would choose a different color at least.
Yeah, and maybe you'll understand this description more. I don't know enough about boats. It says passing boats need only go straight through them at a low speed, after which their anchor lines will pull them back into place.
Right.
So the boat passes through.
So they're like buoys.
They're buoys.
They're buoys, yeah.
So basically somebody took the technology, or what is a buoy for? What's the purpose?
The buoy is to indicate to people where certain objects are in the sea, or
and to
where
no passing.
Yeah, tell you when to change your speed as a boat, tell you when there's a reef or something that you got to look out for, stuff like that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, buoy. So somebody took the buoy idea and they went, okay, what if these things could be like little nets, basically, for trash?
Catch and trash.
Yeah. So
trash, catch, and buoys.
Okay, so that's the first one, but there's a better one coming.
Here's my redesign. I'm going to do a redesign.
I want the redesign. This is your MacGyver.
I'm MacGyvering this thing. Okay. All right, so what I want is everything that's on the ground that's holding it in place, I want to be of like a kind of rock or like
natural
a design that coral can naturally grab onto.
Yes,
and grow.
Yes.
So you can make a little reef below it, perhaps, or something like that.
Custom reef.
Although it seems like they're doing these in rivers, so maybe that's not going to work out.
Yeah, well,
actually, it's not really to trap water in the ocean. Yeah, forget that idea. I have no redesign. It's screwed. This thing sucks. I don't want it.
This Italian company, stick to pants, mold my pants. Okay.
No, look. At least, let's try to do a paint job or something. I don't know. But then they make them bright so the boats don't hit them. I just feel like we can do better.
Okay. Well, let's see if this next one
we can do better.
Let's see if this next one will do better.
Okay.
I think this one. Let's see if this person saw the poker chips and went, "I hate it. I want to do better." Okay. These drones are swallowing tons of plastic waste before it reaches the ocean.
I would also like to note that this is spelled in the British.
It is
TONNES.
Yes, because this is on a site called Euronews.
Nice.
So this is not for us Yanks.
No, we don't get this tech.
You don't get to enjoy this tech. This is only for overseas.
Yeah.
So this does say ocean. So millions of tons of plastic waste wind up in the ocean every year. This is something we know, right? It's bad thing. So this is a Dutch company.
Okay.
Company.
It's always a Dutch company.
Yeah.
Or Australian.
Rand Marine has deployed 157 centimeter wide aquatic drones. How big would 157 centimeters be?
That would be 1.5 meters.
1.5 meters. Okay.
No. Yes, 1.5 meters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not that big. It's nice and petite.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I mean, it's like so you got in American.
Yeah, an American is
American.
1.5. Yeah.
That's like a little more than like what it's like 1 and 2/3 yards.
Okay.
So like what, like 5 feet or something?
5 feet? Okay. So it's like the size of a person, a smaller person. Smaller person.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's called a waste shark.
Waste shark?
The waste shark that capture rubbish. I love that they used rubbish. It captures rubbish and brings it back to land. Okay. So the drones can hold 160 liters of trash, floating plants, and algae, according to Rand Marine. The aquatic tech is inspired by the whale shark, which swims with its mouth wide open to capture prey. So if you didn't know that, that's what
we all know the whale shark.
Oh, yeah.
We're whale shark fans here.
Whale sharks are like the kind of animal that's like, I don't know what it is, but I'm eating it.
Yeah. It's like I basically am big enough and rad enough that I can eat anything in my path.
I'm just going to swim with my mouth open.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like...
Nature is lit, isn't it?
Nature
really
is
cool.
really lit, because when you think about that, I love that there's an entire species that just goes for a swim and goes, what am I going to eat today? No clue.
I don't know.
It's going to be great.
Open wide.
Plastic bags. Well, that's one of the reasons why you want your trash not to be in the ocean, because the whale shark gets really mad when it's like, what is that?
What is the thing? Oh, man, I am totally going to swim by humans with my mouth open.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Because of how mad I am about this plastic bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then scuba divers. Innocent scuba divers.
Eaten because they ate a CVS bag that you threw in the ocean, and now
That's right.
and now your friend Jim, who's a scuba diver,
He ends up in a whale shark.
Yeah, and he not only ends up in a whale shark, but it's one of those giant ones to where the scene is they're like sitting and there's like a candlelight and they're like in the mouth.
Yeah.
I always loved that when I was a kid when you'd see like the story of Jonah and the whale or like a story about
the Mickey Mouse version.
the Mickey Mouse version.
Or Pinocchio.
Pinocchio,
Yeah,
yes.
Pinocchio.
Where they're just kind of casually hanging out in the mouth of an animal.
And thankfully, they brought candles. And
And they're like candles. They have a table, and they're like, we really got to figure out how to get out of here.
Yeah.
They recently did it in this movie. There's this movie called The Sea Beast on Netflix. Did you guys see this? It's this big. So it's apparently, I think it's a mainstream movie that just got a streaming release.
Okay.
But they have a scene where this giant sea monster captures this guy and girl, and they're just sitting casually in the mouth, and there's the teeth. And I was like, oh, I'm actually really glad they did that, because it's like a throwback.
Yeah.
It's like nowadays I feel like there'd be an animation team, and there'd be some guy in the room who'd be like, well, that doesn't actually happen, and they'd like, quiet down, Gus.
I do think, right, like in this sort of new Christopher Nolan age of
everything
filmmaking,
is so
like where
gritty.
it's like gritty and as real as possible, and like you're like, let's get down to the details of what could actually happen.
Right.
If Batman exists,
Right.
what could he actually do?
What would he really do?
What would Batman really do?
Right.
Right. It's so which is, I mean, it's cool.
It's cool,
I mean,
but-
because you're getting like high pace, interesting action, and the realism is neat. But you are going into a theater with giant speakers and a screen and a curtain that opens and closes to transport yourself to somewhere else. So at some point, I feel like we have to remember that people are willing to suspend their disbelief.
Yeah, and not everything has to be real. And I think that our kids even, this is a perfect example. I'm so glad you said this. And this is tangent. Yes, tangential.
But worth it.
But worth it. One of our oldest tags.
Oldest and bestest.
Oldest and bestest. Mary Poppins was on last night. And the boys were in, and at first they were sitting there, and they were like, yeah, and they were like, this looks old, and me and Jamie were like, stick with it, just stick with it for a second. Yeah. And like right at the beginning, there's a whole scene where he puts the ad in for the nannies, and there's like all these nannies out front before Mary Poppins shows up, and then the wind starts blowing.
They all get blown away.
These get blown away, and they're in these hilarious postures as they're like flying in the air.
Yeah.
And my oldest is like that would happen, and I was like, it's a movie about a magical nanny, and he started to.
She's floating in an umbrella,
in an
dude.
umbrella. I know, and so he started to. Give into it.
Yeah.
But at first, because of the world that exists today in cinema, everything's always got to be so real. And I wanted to be like there was a time, son, when movies it's all make-believe. You know, it's like you go to see the docudrama for the real story, but everything has kind of got this suspension of disbelief and, hey, it's just a cool story. And I felt the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, we got to get back to like, let's have a little bit more playtime with our movies.
Right.
You know?
It does feel like the only thing you're allowed to have as fake is a superhero.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do
It's
a
like,
superhero.
it's okay if the person can punch through a building.
Right.
But every other thing that's unrealistic is not acceptable.
Yes. It's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Another example of that, and then I'll go back to the news.
Yeah.
in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
Remember how Brad Pitt kicks Bruce Lee's butt?
Yes.
People were all up in arms, and they were going, by spoiler alert, I'm so sorry, but he beats him up. The Bruce Lee family came out and were like, we're furious, that would never happen. And people were so mad, they were like, that wouldn't happen at all. And I was like, you missed the point. You missed the point completely. They needed to set up that Brad Pitt was a really good fighter. They needed to set up that he's really good at his actions. And so Tarantino in that moment had to go farther than reality. He had to go, who's the best fighter in this time? And who can I have this character beat so that you believe that he has all the skills required to do what needs to be done?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's an example of something where people got so caught up in well, Bruce Lee would have never gotten his butt kicked.
Also,
and
people are stupid because Bruce Lee absolutely could have gotten his butt kicked because
totally
Bruce Lee was not a huge person.
Yeah,
Bruce Lee was an impressive and amazing
fighter,
martial artist and an incredible fighter.
Yeah.
But let me tell you about why they have weight classes.
Yeah, because bigger
in
dudes.
Fighting is because a dude with less skill who's bigger will destroy the person with more skill who's smaller just because he's bigger.
Yeah, it's true. That's why you have weight classes.
Because he has more reach.
Yeah.
Because he's more difficult to move around it. It's like if you fight a bear.
Yeah.
Well, that bear might not be a very good fighter, and you could be a real expert. He's still going to kill you.
Right. It's like,
so
this bear is not trained in Aikido. I've got a chance.
It's just stupid. It's like if you had a person who was like a high-level army-trained killer, which is who this character was, right? Who's now in Hollywood being a stunt double and a bodyguard, okay, fighting against a professional martial artist who was significantly smaller, yes, Bruce Lee would lose that fight. The legend of Bruce Lee says he won't lose. Of course Bruce Lee's going to lose that fight because the other guy's trained. He knows how to fight.
The Lee family's coming after you.
Come after me. Come get it. I'm bigger than you.
I'm bigger than you. So, waste in the ocean is... I love this show because we literally are going from these things to Bruce Lee.
Do you remember when this show started? This is the most tangential show we've had in a long time.
It
but
is,
I'm glad.
but we haven't done it in a while. But sometimes you got to go. You know what? Why not?
Do you remember when this show started? How careful we were.
We were very careful.
I didn't want to insult this person or make this person feel bad or have like the feelings of this is. Guy, we got to be sensitive or whatever else. And I feel like
now you're like
it's kind of gone out the window a little bit. Now we're just like, this is a thing. I'm gonna say it. I'm not even sure if I think it, but I'm gonna say it.
I love that too, and I love that we used to feel bad about the tangents. We used to be like, well, that was a little bit of tangent. Let's get back to it. Now I'm like, nah. Just look, you know what you signed on for. You know what you hit subscribe to. We're going to tell you a little bit about the planet, but we're also going to just screw around.
We are.
Because it's fun.
We're going to screw around.
Yeah, look, part of environmental, which we covered early on is...
To be clear, I don't want to get into a fight with the Leaf.
No, he does.
I have no idea.
To be clear, the Biofriendly Podcast's official stance is Noel Carroll has just picked a fight with the Bruce Lee family.
This is what you get for cracking jokes.
I'm kidding. It was all just a joke. But I was going to say, we're an environmental podcast, and something about the environment that we talk about a lot is your mental health and that you're feeling okay. And so, we started this show because you scan the environmental shows, and it's all literally like the most dire, boring, drab stuff. And so, laughing and having a good time is part of what's going to help the planet.
Yeah.
We're going to do better on Earth if we laugh about Noel challenging Bruce Lee's family to a fight while we're talking about oceans.
I'm sure people would love on television watching the entire Lee family beat the piss out of me. She's like, yeah, big guy, you think you're so tough?
and then we cut to Noel on the ground like a cartoon, with
bleeding,
with teeth knocked out, black eye, and like stars over his head, and he looks at the camera and he goes, "That's why you clean out the oceans."
And conclusion, a trained Navy SEAL can beat up Bruce Lee.
And that's why you watch the show. That's why you watch the show.
That thing I will stand by though. That it's not unrealistic.
It's not unrealistic
in the movie to say that a trained killer would do fine. And by the way, Bruce Lee won the first round of that fight.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he just whooped Bruce Lee.
It was showing.
It was a fair fight.
Yeah. But Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
All right, back to this thing called the waste shark. All right. So the aquatic tech is inspired by the whale shark, which swims with its mouth wide open, which we covered, right? So it's crucial. Oh, no.
Yeah, you got it. You're okay.
The article disappeared for a second, and I was like, oh, my God. Okay. It's crucial to scoop
it's okay because you memorized the whole thing.
Oh, I did. You know me.
Yeah.
You know me.
You got it covered.
I read the article not just one time. I read it multiple times.
The best part about that is your delivery of the joke makes it clear that you read the article one time.
Yeah. I usually read it more than one time. Not only that, but I read this, like I said, this article, both of these articles were ready to go about 3 weeks ago. And that's
you've already forgotten.
And that's when I read them.
Oh, God.
So
that's hilarious.
It's crucial to scoop up the plastic before it reaches the large ocean expanse. Well, that's obviously, says Nancy Wallace, director of the U.S. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
Nancy Wallace, what's your comment on that? Obviously.
Obviously. So they have, they go after this to say, there are these drones, and then there's other devices as well. Mm-hmm. So in India, Alpha MERS Limited has developed an inexpensive way of capturing plastic waste. It has installed steel mesh fences extending above and below aluminum floats across rivers in 8 Indian cities. So this sounds a lot like that other one that we talked about, but it's another company.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of businesses that are creating these plastic consuming devices, but to your point earlier,
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, to your point earlier, we want trash to come out of the ocean, but maybe this process needs to be the system is brought out, it does its thing, and then it's taken out again so that we have less impact on the area. Like maybe we have a scoop cleanup machine or something, and then it comes back in rather than a permanent, like we've set this up, we've anchored it, we've meshed it, and now it's going to gather all this trash over time. That worries me a little bit more because of how it impacts the environment as opposed to like a patrol through an area with a net device type thing. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think this is another sign that Okay. I'm gonna.
Gloves are off.
I'm gonna go into politics for a minute. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to everybody that I'm gonna go into politics.
Send the Bruce Lee family right now.
Send them now to beat the piss out of Noel.
No, go ahead.
Teach Noel a couple of lessons here.
Yeah. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Share your heart, buddy.
My feeling on politics has always been a little bit in the a little bit of this, a little bit of that. All right. So I think that. You don't want the government obviously interfering in every aspect of your life. So you want to keep that out. That's right. I do think that. Yeah. But I also think that there is such a thing as the common good and social services and what you need as a society to function.
Right.
Particularly as the society grows and becomes more technologically advanced.
Right.
So this to me is an infrastructure problem. This is a problem of the government not doing the things that it's supposed to do, right? Okay. Like I don't want them reaching into things where they shouldn't be reaching, right?
Right.
But I do want them doing the stuff that we ask them to do. And to me, this is like if you're gonna have a drainage system, because so much of the waste comes because someone throws something away or just litters or just leaves it, and then the water goes downhill.
Yeah.
Downhill leads to waterways. The downhill waterways lead to the two other waterways, which then lead to the ocean. Yeah. And then eventually it all ends up in the ocean.
Yeah.
Right. So, because that's the lowest point.
Right.
So, what we need to do is have a better system in the actual infrastructure of what's around our streets and what's in our pathways and our walkways to catch the plastic before it gets to the river.
Yeah.
Because, some people are probably throwing some things in rivers, but that's not the major issue. The major issue is that you have runoff from industry and from people and homes and from whatever else getting into the waterways.
Yeah.
So this is an infrastructure problem. This is an example of this is where the government is supposed to do its job.
Yeah.
Have the nets before it ever cut it off in the drainage.
Yeah. Don't let it get to the water.
Don't let it get to the river in the first place.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to have a bunch of poker chips in the damn river or a drone.
Right.
Good point.
Is that too
That's a
much?
good point.
No,
Is
good
that too
point,
much
good
to
point.
ask?
No, this is what we've talked
I'm
about.
not asking for healthcare.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it was a good joke. It was a good joke. It was a good
I'm
joke.
just saying, like you're building the sewage anyway.
Yeah.
You're building the runoff anyway.
Yeah.
So let's do it better.
We talked about this has come up in other ways in other conversations, which is if you have something that's like a machine that's picking up trash, but over here there's a catapult that launches trash.
Right.
It's canceling out you know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
Why are we putting so much attention on the machine that's picking up trash when there's still the catapult that's launching the trash? Like, no matter how many times we scoop out this pile, it just keeps coming back again. And so, to your point is, we need to clean out what waste and garbage is in the ocean and in the rivers. We do need to clean it out. But there has to be a way to get it out without affecting the environment and then preventing it from continuing.
Well, yeah, that's the next step. Yeah,
That's
you're
the
right.
next step.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You
Get out the trash, but why is stuff keep landing there, and how do we stop that? Let's put all of our energy on, 90% of our energy on, can we stop getting trash into the water?
in the first place.
In the first place. Yep. And then let's send crews and teams and gather what we've got in there.
Yeah.
Get it out.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you're going to do a sweep, get all this trash, and they're going to be like, we did it. And then this entire thing
More
is going to
trash
just go,
coming.
blah, 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 and it's going to happen all over again. Yeah. So, that's a fair point. So I hope that whale shark, waste shark, and poker chip, Italy, mold, and all these companies are working in tandem, or there are teams of people that are like, hey, we're just here to help while you guys are fixing the bigger issue. That's my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I have a feeling because things are I think there's such a kind of mess at the moment.
Right.
I feel like we're at an inflection point where there's so much battling as to where should money go, where should attention go, how do we do things?
Yeah.
Where I feel like there's probably a lot of grant money and probably a lot of like investment in funky new wild technologies to solve to make money on solving the problem as opposed to just solving the problem.
Yeah.
And I think that's why a lot of these companies are European, is because they were frankly ahead of the U.S. They were ahead of North America on getting into this. And you're going to see more and more investment, and grant money in the U.S. to come up with wild solutions like this too. And we'll start, I think 3 years from now, we're probably going to be talking about a bunch of stupid U.S. ideas.
Yeah.
It's true.
For the same thing. Same thing, doing the same thing. And this
stupid is a mean word. I'm so sorry. These aren't stupid ideas. These are great ideas. I just think there's some issues with them.
No, I think that's fair. And I think that
so many people are going to beat me up now.
No, yeah.
So
the Bruce Lee's family, the Italians,
Lees, the Netherlanders, the
public
Nederlanders,
enemy
the Dutch.
number one, Noel. He's going to be beaten up by everybody. No, you want to know what else has changed about us in all these years of doing this show? We started out very, these are neat things.
Yeah.
But I think that we've seen with each passing year that there's a lot of billionaires and trillionaires and businesses that want to continue doing business the way they have, and they don't want to stop doing their business. And so they know, hey, if we really distract the world with a
gimmick or
with
two.
a gimmick or a shiny trinket, something nice over here, they go, oh, look at what this company. Guess who sponsored this ocean cleanup? And it's the insert giant, massive corporate, plastic producing place. That seems to be more common than we think. So we're doing these efforts, but it also is focusing our energies on maybe something that's not as big of a deal as the overarching huge problem, which is let's invest in a long-term solution that's going to stop the waste, the trash, the consumers from buying the wrong thing over and over again. And that's what we're seeing a little bit more through the veil.
Better infrastructure, better education, and nuclear power.
Yeah.
And we're out of this problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually that simple.
Yeah, we actually got in a huge conversation. I was just in San Diego, and we had a huge conversation of how important nuclear power was and how all these people were forcing, plants to be closed, and they weren't even acknowledging the fact that it could be a solution, and how frustrated we were by that.
It's actually an interesting, this war.
Yeah.
With the Ukraine and Russia, and then the sort of surrounding effects that have come from it. are so fascinating because Germany is now kind of being forced to look at like, oh God, what did we do? Because they used to be one of the largest nuclear
and they shut it all down.
Energy suppliers in the world, right?
Yeah.
Them and France. France was going to shut it down too, and then they kind of looked at what was happening. They're like, you know what? We don't want to do that. We want to keep it.
Yeah.
France right now is happy. They're fine.
They're doing great.
They're fine. They don't like the natural gas is being shut off by Russia because they're trying to punish the Europeans for punishing them. Mm-hmm. And France is like, it's cool, dude.
We're fine.
We're good because they
are doing just fine
because they have so much nuclear power.
Yeah.
And it's clean, and they produce zero emissions while they're at it. Like they have some emissions and some of their other, they do some natural gas and some other things. But so much. I mean, they're way greener than we are. They're way cleaner than we are.
Yeah.
Germany used to be like that, and then they shut down all those plants, and now they're literally looking at coal again, at going to coal.
To coal because they acted rashly.
A country with as much as advanced in both education and technology as Germany is looking at coal
because they have no choice, right? I mean,
it's absurd.
They're going.
If you tell me that Ghana's looking at coal, I'd say that's okay. It's cool. You gotta get yourself there. You gotta, you need to. The first thing you've got to do is get your infrastructure in place and get your energy grid in place, and you got to do that in the cheapest way possible because you don't have the resources.
Right.
I'm cool in Africa and Southeast Asia and these places if they're using some coal to get themselves there. That's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're in Europe, you're in North America, you're in China, like you're an advanced civilization.
Yeah.
Get your together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like really, like if you're going to coal, you're doing something wrong. You're supposed to be leading.
Yeah. It's very true. It's very true.
So they're actually even looking now at, oh God, because of this war, because they have no natural gas, which was their plan.
Yeah.
They're actually looking at opening up these nuclear plants again, which they should bloody well do. And hopefully that is a lesson to the world. It's like this is a reliable, clean source of energy.
The Germans are coming after you now too.
I know. I know. I already had two black eyes with teeth everywhere, and then one of those bumps, one of those cartoonish bumps at the top of my head.
Yes, you get the red bump that looks like a mountain
that
peak.
slowly grows.
That goes. Whoop.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, guys. That's the show. We did it. We talked about Mary Poppins. Mm-hmm. We talked about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Bruce Lee.
We did.
We talked about how Noel wants to pick a fight with everybody. We talked about how sitting inside of a whale or shark's mouth and having a table and candlelight dinner is awesome, and we need to have more of that. Uh-huh. We talked about cleaning. We talked about cleaning out oceans' plastic, but doing it in such a way that you don't affect the environment. Mm-hmm. And we also talked about my tight pants, and that was today's Biofriendly podcast.
Wow.
That was a recap.
That was quality education.
That was in case you tuned out during the show and you're like, what did they even talk about? That was it.
That's what we talk about.
That's what we talk about.
It's a lot of pants.
A lot of pants.
A lot of beatings.
A lot of beatings.
A lot of bubbles.
A lot of bubbles.
Guys got bubbles. All right, let's close it out. Oh.
Should we switch things up?
Did I just lose my...
Oh.
What just happened?
So.
Wow. Everything got quiet.
It did.
Well, I think we're still recording,
I still
right?
see this. Yeah, I still see the audio, but something super weird just happened with our voices.
Yeah. It got
like really soft. Well, just in case we lost it, we're gonna say our sign off now, and if it's gone,
and hope for the best. That guy's got bubbles. I think you should be Todd Watersocks.
Okay, you want me to
because we're talking about you.
That's true. So do you want to start saying
he's the guy that's got bubbles? If Jacob says that guy's got bubbles, then
it's not talking about him.
No, that's kind of self-centered, right?
That's true. That's true. All right, so if you start saying we are your beacon of light, go for it.
Yeah, or we just switch those two.
I gotcha.
Right?
Yes, we are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
I've already forgotten every single
tag.
Jacob's brain is constantly rebuilding itself.
Oh no.
Environment. Don't be
environmentally gimmicky.
This guy's got bubbles.
And featuring Todd Watersocks.
That's it.
Veronica, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Have a lovely time.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. Have a lovely.
It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.